So, everyone, this is a weird welcome on my side because apparently there was a mix-up in this meetup. We completely mixed the time. Probably there is a time difference issue, and some people joined 1 hour earlier. So I'm really sorry again for that. In any case, I will welcome you officially, and I will, although for many of you I already did, to our meetup. This is a joint meetup, an effort with the Thessaloniki .NET Meetup and the Munich .NET Meetup. We're doing this together, and we are presenting Hello World Guide for Blazor. It's going to be first steps, baby steps, but yeah, it will be very useful for people that they heard about Blazor, they know a few things, but they don't know how to actually get started with this. Kostas will do the presentation. Kostas is a .NET master, so he's also experienced and he has a lot of knowledge in Blazor, but I'm sure there are other people that hear us now that they have experience in Blazor, like Stavros. A warm welcome from me and from actually the Thessaloniki .NET Meetup. I want to welcome you also to my house because of these weird times. I'm doing it from home, of course, as most of us were watching it, because it also looks like he has a nice library there and he's doing it from home. Just a fair notice, let's say, I am recording this meetup, whatever we'll say, then we plan to publish it to YouTube. So if anyone disagrees, for example, your name is visible, you don't want something to be there, just contact me. I will not publish it immediately. I will wait and I will publish it tomorrow. Like I will wait 24 hours or something. So you will have plenty of time to contact me and yeah, object to that. Just to help you out, you can contact either me from the Munich.NET Meetup or the Thessaloniki.NET Meetup. So, and I'm saying that because probably many of you joined from the .NET user group, the general one, and I'm not sure if you know how to contact us. It's either Munich.NET Meetup or I don't know why Thessaloniki.NET Meetup is not here, but I can search it. I guess it's, oh, help me out here. Oh, God. Strato, whenever you want, can you send the link of your meetup to the common talk? I will do the same. If anyone want to contact me in Munich.NET Meetup or Stratos at Thessaloniki.NET Meetup, feel free. I'm sending in the chat right now. And a friend is asking if there is a problem seeing the screen. Do you have a problem right now? I'm not sharing everything. I'm not sharing anything. So probably that's the reason. Kostas will start to share in a oh no, I am sharing, sorry. This round thing around the screen is missing and I didn't know. I see the browser without the problem. Super, yeah. Nick, I'm not sure about the problem, but it seems it's not a general problem. It thinks it's only problem you have. You're seeing the browser. Perfect.
George, can you hear me?
Yes, I can see you, Stratos, okay. And I will stop, Kostas, sorry, and I will stop sharing. So I will also close my camera. Kostas, the virtual stage is yours.
Don't close your camera. I want to watch you. I want to discuss with you.
Yeah, okay. I'm
friends here. Yeah, let's make it personal because there are some few developers, and we can make it more personal, more friendly. Let's say.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I will keep my camera
on. I am. Maybe you can somehow
stop sharing. I'm stop share. Oops, I'm stop the video. Sorry. Okay. I stopped sharing, and now you can start sharing your screen. Hi, Stratos. Your camera is also on.
And you can help me with this one because it's more strange than the usual face-to-face meetup. That's the easier or stranger. This one. I'm sharing my screen so we can show you some old boring presentation on PowerPoint, but I will move out from that soon. I don't know, guys, someone can't hear me very well. Let's say it. I'm trying to talk loud and slow so we can all hear. I have quite an experience in .NET, .NET Core, etc., all technologies, but I think Stratus is more advanced than me in Blazor, so you can help me with questions, etc. I'm more a practitioner in Blazor, not an expert still. Okay, let me share my screen, starting the show. Slide. Okay. And I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Blazor cookies hug in a nutshell for you. Sorry for the pronunciation.
Sometimes there's a problem with the sound, I think.
Hopefully my microphone is working. Okay, if this continue to happen, I will see. Let me know to change something else. Try something else. Okay. I am Kostas Ziazios. I am the co-organizer of .NET Meetup here in Thessaloniki with Stratos. I'm working as a software developer for many years. I work with .NET ecosystem since 2001. I was a student back then, and I was searching something in a forum, the forum called Mr. Fix It Online. I don't know if you are old to know that. And I found something about C#, and I looked up back then, and I was hooked up immediately to that language. So I was fell in love. My poison of choice to work with that, to use that word. Of course, some days are good, some days are not so good, but always I think it's a good ecosystem, and I don't regret anything working with our. Here today, I'm going to see together what is Blazor. I would like to, I don't know, there's no way to vote here to see how many of you know about Blazor.
We asked that a few minutes ago with this weird time that we for the people that joined the meetup before the meetup starts, and most of the people didn't have quite enough experience. So yeah, this hello world thing will be the best now.
Yeah, we're going to discuss what is it, what is the flavors, what is the types of Blazor. My sound is still good, or it's breaking?
The sound, I think maybe you can speak a bit louder and it would be okay.
Okay, I'll try that. And then we're going to build a simple app from ground up with, but a very simple app, but with a database with everything. It's going to be a real app, not just a hello world. And hopefully, with the praise of demo gods, everything will going to be okay. What is Blazor actually? Blazor is a technology that allows you to build web applications. We all know web applications. We use a lot of them every day. Using C# instead of JavaScript. It has some similarities with Angular, React, and Vue. You can build rich applications, component-based applications. That's why I mentioned that it's a modern way to build web applications, not just an old, boring way. It's, with full tooling, the whole pipeline is what you expect from a modern framework. and it's an alternative to, as I say, Angular, React, or Vue. For you guys that you prefer work more with Sharp and less with JavaScript. So what is it actually? It's a framework, let's say, that it's built up on .NET stack, .NET Core stack, that takes C# code, HTML, and CSS, bundles this all together with Razor syntax, use the Blazor framework to deploy this in runtime, in the runtime machine, in virtual machine, not the usual virtual machine that you know, the .NET virtual machine, but the mono WS was runtime that is going to run this code and deploys that to the browser, inside the browser using assembly. The WebAssembly is not correct here. It's WebAssembly. WebAssembly is a new technology that came the last year that made that possible. That's why Blazor is a new thing. It wasn't possible to run things inside the browser outside JavaScript, but the last years we can run binary using assembly, WebAssembly. So the mono WebAssembly DLL is used as a runtime to run this package you have built with Sharp and HTML. That's simple. It's very simple. All the stuff is happening automatically. You don't have to do anything to do that. All happens. And if someone has a question, yes, it is supported in a lot of range of browsers and operating systems. Okay, that's what I do. But I have to ask: should I do? Should I do that? Why I should that? And should I? The reason is that you can use C# as a full stack language to build the front end, the web app, the web part of the application, and the back end, the APIs, the database infrastructure, etc. So if you are expert in C#, you can build easily web applications without further knowledge of JavaScript. That's the basic thing. And even that is dependable. I don't know the status. What do you think? You need JavaScript at all, or you can skip that knowledge?
You can have it with
JavaScript.
You can use it side by side, but if you ask me, no, C# is convenient and it's enough for me. But of course, yeah, I think you mentioned it. Yeah, there is JavaScript side by side functionality.
Yeah, there's this interoperability, right? This JavaScript interop.
Full support for that. The reason is that you can build a fast application. There is some asterisk here, but the application is very fast because it's built as a binary deployed to the browser, and you can have performance that outmatch HTML or JavaScript in some cases. This is not something that .NET offers, but the WebAssembly is doing that. There is a site called Figma that uses WebAssembly that uses for as an alternative to Photoshop. You can I don't know how many of you know that, but you can process images inside the browser. That wasn't possible with JavaScript. And now and stuff like that, video processing, etc., is more powerful for that edge cases, right? Having said that, JavaScript is very fast. Okay, it's very optimized. It's fast for the browser for the most cases. And the easy of development, because you have a tooling supported from Microsoft that is one of the best vendors of tooling. and the community that comes with that. So you can build things very quickly. That's I don't know if Status or George wants to offer some other reasons. The C# is the main reason. I don't think someone that doesn't know C# is going to use Blazor so much. I don't think so.
There's actually a question also, Kostas, that Robert is asking your advice or expertise. If you think for an e-commerce shopping cart site, what would be better? What would you use, server-side Blazor or client-side Blazor? Or do you think this is a step ahead? I mean, I don't know.
I will say client-side.
Sorry, client-side.
Yeah. WebAssembly. I think it's the most the reason the obvious choice for that. I think.
Okay.
So this Blazor has a popularity. This kind came from Google. I did that yesterday and see that there is some increase of noise around Blazor.
This is the
yeah.
This is the usage of Blazor.
No, this is the search in Google. How many mentions? How many
the search.
things?
Yeah. So okay. But Jim is asking if you have any resource related to speed and file size comparative to TypeScript, JavaScript versus Blazor. Of course, I mean, you can compare it with JavaScript, Jim, right? Because JavaScript is, you don't need to download anything. You just run JavaScript, you just write your code, and Blazor needs to download all these assemblies. But there are optimizations there, right? I mean, you're not downloading them every time. The first time, yeah, there's going to be some delay to actually download these files, but this is not going to be every time a user visits your site. Now, I don't know, Kostas, if you have any source to share about speed comparison. If not, I will search and send you Jim later.
I don't have any but I see the size is not so big. It's not small, of course, but it's not that big. Concerning that some frameworks like Angular or they have a large let's say you can have 5 or 500 of kilobytes, let's say, out of the box, building some up with a simple framework today. It's not that it's of course pure JavaScript is pure JavaScript, but if you're going with a framework, usually they have some size also. They're not cheap. It's not the same. It's very better there, and I am working on Angular very daily, and I see that also improving. But the size is sometimes it's not as small. Okay, what I need.
I think there is also a very interesting site about, since you talked about JavaScript, it is JavaScript gsvanilla.com. Let me search that. Actually, it's a comic thing, of course, that says that how fast JavaScript alone is, and the fastest thing you could do is write JavaScript without any kind of help, TypeScript or Angular or Blazor or whatever. But of course, that is mostly no one does, right? I mean, I don't know, but especially for .NET developers, we don't really like JavaScript so much. Maybe TypeScript a bit, but not JavaScript so much. So yeah, there is nothing faster and lighter than raw JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript. But of course, if you compare TypeScript to Blazor, yeah, I think maybe they're doing different things.
You mean as a, let's say, download size, right? But not in runtime. Runtime is binary is fast.
Yeah, exactly. I think Blazor just adds some capabilities like image processing and stuff. The site that I showed you earlier that I did as a playground, you can't do it. You can't do image processing. So yeah. Anyway, sorry for the interruption. I'm going to search now about any site compare speeds and stuff and share it later.
I'm glad you're interrupting. It's more interesting for me, and you guys don't feel bad to ask anything. If something doesn't interest you or it's confusing for you, please let me know. Let's say we're here to discuss things, not just presenting to you. I'm not working for Microsoft. Let's say that I'm not working for Microsoft. I'm not. I like the stuff. I know many things that Microsoft did bad or good. Usually, I like the products, but I am just my opinion as a developer and a fellow developer and professional. Okay, there are 3 ways to work with that. Using the first one is for hardcore people. To use the power, the command line, a simple editor, and any operating system. The second one that is also very interesting choice is to use your VS Code with some add-ons in the browser, in the VS Code to support C# autocomplete and intelligence. And the third one is to use the Visual Studio community, or professional if you prefer. And this has 2 flavors for Windows and Mac. I don't think there's something in Linux for that. I don't think the mono develop is still a thing. I don't know. And of course, your passion for C#. This is what you need. As we discussed already, for you guys who don't know, there are 2 flavors: the client side, the WebAssembly, and the server side Blazor. What the fork is that? Who you ask? For think a bit traditional, but it's not the same as you think the traditional MVC pages that you render on the server with HTML and send back to the client. This is the server side. It's not. It's equivalent. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing because the it's more smart, the Blazor server side. It uses Signal underneath to sync with the client. There's no, so the application seems to be real in live and feels like a spa page. The other one is the same as a Angular application or a React application. It's spa-like app. It's the same thing. You can deploy it in a different server, in a CDN even. It's run entirely the client. So you can, I don't know, we can call that Jamstack. We can call the Jamstack. I am calling the dev. It's now. Any idea on that? It's a standalone application. You don't need a server to build an application like that. You can build an application that you don't need to take data from the server. It can be a game or something, or you can build a standalone application that someone uses from the browser using C#. That's a great, let's say, option we didn't have until now. It has a bigger initial download. This is already discussed. Because why? Because you need to, as we said, you need to build this thing I saw earlier and send to the client. So you need to send the mono.asm and all the libraries to the client before everything, before the magic happens. It has faster execution because after that runs to the browser. And of course, depends on the WebAssembly, the WASM. WASM is the short for WebAssembly. That means that some browsers are not support WebAssembly and never going to be, like, I don't know, the Explorer. On the other side, the server side is browser dependent because it's run on the server and sends to the browser only the result of this process. So it's a good solution for thin clients. You have scenarios. I'm thinking more scenarios in internet applications or some cases that you don't have the option to have any browser you want. It's a bit slower because everything. But the slower here is very short. I don't know if it's mentionable. It's just in some cases. And I think one other downside is that everything runs on the server. So you have the server takes a heavy load to work. So you need a more expensive server, let's say, to support that, and also to support the signaler that thinks everything out. So if you're going to build something larger that my friend here asks, you're going to need some kind of cloud service in order to support all the signaler things, etc. I think Azure has something out of the box for that. So that's why I'm not suggesting that so much. But that's it. The pros and the cons of the thing. Okay, let's see some code already. Sorry for that. I am I'm a bit of cat live on myself with my cat. I'm going. Can you see my screen, or you still you see the?
We see the cat and your screen.
What?
A blue cat.
Okay. So you see my.
Yeah.
Let me stop the presentation. So we have all the screen in front of me.
Yeah, indeed. They also like your PowerShell background.
It's makes the thing a little bit more less intimidating in order to face every time.
Yeah.
You see a friendly face, and so it's easier to work. Yeah, this is a new template. That's awesome. I love that. In order to create an application, it's very simple. All I need is the .NET Core 3.1. If someone can install that, please ask me later. I will explain it more. It's simply you download it from .NET Server, and after that you simply write this one. I'm going to with the assembly version. This one, it's more or less the same. The process.
So you mean there is a prerequisite to actually have .NET?
Yes.
I will share, guys. Sorry, yeah. I will share just in case. I honestly don't know. I'm not sure, and with these virtual things, yeah, it's hard to communicate. But in any case, I will share a URL that you can actually download .NET Core if anyone is not not there yet. So yeah.
Okay. So this is the you create the app. You can see the system, and you can simply run the app. It's the same as Angular installed the CLI, ng new, and ng run. So you run the app. I am going to open the browser here. And this is the app. We just write the Blazor app. It's not hard at all to start, let's say. This is a simple hello world thing. More interesting for you, let's say. Created yesterday. I don't know how many of just the same hello world app, let's say. But instead of I put the face of Gauss written in ASCII with a number that is prime number, Gauss prime number. we are friends of numbers.
So this is a prime number that if you put it like that, it actually creates the face of Gauss.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Now, I'm wondering, how did ever someone find out about that?
I have the link for more information. I didn't do that. Wasn't on the PowerPoint. Let's see. Okay, I'm leaving this nonsense and let's see now the app. What is have a code here? We're going to work on code, not Visual Studio. So many of you guys who have different operating system like Mac, or I have a Mac here because everyone says that you have to have a Mac in presentation. So I have it on the show in every presentation. I'm never used it. Okay. Going here again and discuss a bit the code. What in order to build a span application today, you need some simple things. One thing is to a template language like Angular use TypeScript and or JSX for React, or Vue has some the template language is in order to build the components, right? Of course, Blazor uses the Blazor template language that many developers know from MVC days. It feels like a bit old Forms apps, but it's better. It hasn't the bad stuff in it. So for template, you have to include the HTML part of the application and the code part, the logic, let's say, of how it works. The other stuff you need is in order to move through the application, the navigation, let's say. And the third is to somehow to build components in order to reuse components from others. This is the main thing from in order to start working with a SPA framework. So here we have the first part is the routing, how to do approach, how you going to land on this page. Let's start this one again. Code this one again. Correct. Okay. If I am click the counter, goes to this page counter. If I am change that one, it's going to work going there. This is the HTML page that I am displaying. Counter, the title. This is simple HTML, and now it has the important stuff. You can add in Razor manner with at seems that anything. But this one is implemented with C#. And also I am including the C# using this syntax. Of course, I can have let's say if and etc. Stuff like that. Any Razor syntax valid here. And this means that now I am calling this function directly. There is no, let's say, ceremony here. You directly click and call this method. And also I have directly bound this variable, the current count to this variable behind. So each time I am clicking, I'm calling this function, and the number is going up and up. And that's it. Here's another example. We're going to see that in a more advanced case. And this also is very interesting, the initial one. But displays how to reuse a component. There you have this component, the survey prompt component, as a title here. The title is how is Blazor working for you, but it's going there. So if I build a component of mine, I can reuse it in several cases. We're going to see that in detail. Okay, I'm going back to the presentation, and then we're going to build the application, a more complex, a more interesting application from start. Just to recap, we have a template syntax, a layout, let's say, from each component we use. The first step is to build, to put navigation. There's no need to configure any route in app config routes, etc. It's simply inside the component. The other part is just the HTML you want to use, and the third part is the code. Simple as that. Basic routing, okay, and we are going to the code already. As they are going to build an application. I'm going to close that one, close that one, and let's build an application from the scratch. We're going to build a simple application that displays restaurants from, let's say, and rate these restaurants. We're going to use a simple. We're going to use to build a Blazor WebAssembly. Okay, that's a SPA application, but the SPA application should live somewhere, right? If you build an Angular, you have to deploy that. In order to host this application, we're going to use what else? ASP.NET Core. So we're going to use ASP.NET Core API as a backend, and Blazor WebAssembly as a frontend. That's the idea. That's why the reason we're doing that, right? It was very strange to use Node.js for backend. You can do that, but it will be a strange. Okay. So now I am right. Let's build a new directory here. Food app. Okay. I'm going. Maybe I don't know. I'm going very fast. I will try to slow down or go faster if you want. Please let George know, and we're going to interrupt me for that matter. Okay. So .NET new Blazor. We use this template, and this I want to be hosted, right? And for a simplicity reason, for this presentation, I'm going to ignore the security, the login, etc. You shouldn't. And also, I have to mention that this is a simple presentation. It's not going to present the right structure for a big application. Just take a simple idea how this is working.
This is actually if you actually want to have authentication, right? If you're creating an app that doesn't want authentication, you don't use it.
Well, yeah. But it's not that hard to do that, but I don't think the time is enough to explain and do it.
Yeah. In any case, I also noticed that the name of the app, it's the name of the folder, right?
Yep.
So you create a folder and...
I think you can change it, the status, but by default, it takes the folder name.
Okay.
Very fast. Okay. Let's close that. More. And I'm running code in that directory. So I have the app. Now it's the structure is more interesting. You have the client, the SPA application, the WebAssembly application, and the server application that is well-known .NET Core API application. Okay. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to add my model. Here's the interesting part. I can use a shared. This is pre-built from the template. Has a shared folder. That if I am putting something there, it's common to client server. So usually the model is common to the client because I want to show the stuff, and the server in order to manage the data in the database. So I'm going to build a folder. I'm calling models. No file, sorry. Folder. This is the simple way to share stuff. There's another way. You can use DLL, let's say. You can use in a WebAssembly any .NET Core standard, and maybe you should do that in a more complex application. But now I'm using the easy solution. I don't know if Status has any suggestion of that. Okay, I'm going to make some code here. It's a very simple model: ID, name, city, rating, and an image. So to be more interesting. Okay. After that, what I should do? I want to build the database. Okay. Everything clear so far? Let me check that this thing.
Hope so, guys. If you have a question, you can either send it in chat or at the end. Let's see how many of us will have questions, and we can also have a chat.
Okay. Now it's important to go to the server side in browser in the command line. I know things is more easily in Visual Studio. You can do that visually, but I think it was very more confusing for you to show you something click here and there in a meeting. So I think this is more clear because you can see the things and understand. Okay. In order to use the database, I just need some packages, right? Actually, a lot of them. I need the LD core. Make sure that your app is building before you further. Okay. No problem at all. The second one is just another package for the framework. Two more. One for the tooling. And finally, for that presentation, I'm going to use SQL Server. You can use SQLite or other database. It's easier for me to use. I have some familiarity with SQL Server. Okay. now I have the tooling ready to go to build the database. But in order to build the database, I have to teach the program where is the database. So I'm going to open the app settings. Right, and I'm putting there the code, the connection string. Okay, here is my local system. Nothing special on that. You have to find out your connection string. Here is my database, my server. Okay. Now, if everything's okay and I haven't done anything wrong, I'm going to add the DB context class. Create a folder here. I can call it database or data or whatever you want. Because I created the model, but I need to somehow connect into the database. Okay, I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to use the default. I'm going to use the nomenclature here. Context, yes. Application. I can write very fast, but not correctly. Right. I have this. Going to add the namespace. Okay. I just said that this database and has only one set one table, that is the restaurant table. What is the next step, George? Can you imagine?
The next step, like
yep.
CRUD?
Yep. In order to make the CRUD, I'm going to build the application. So I'm sure that the application is good. Go and the connection and everything works. But because that I need to tell to the system that use the database. I created the DB context, but I need to go to the start. I'm always working on the server. This is .NET Core stuff. The thing is, this is not yet. I want to do all the steps. I don't want to cheat you guys. I want to do all the steps. Okay. This one.
Yeah, you mean that this is not exactly Blazor thing that you're doing?
Yeah, that's standard.NET. Yeah, but I don't want to.
Standard.NET. Yeah, how you register a DB context.
If someone is bored or that, I can skip if you want. I don't know, but I find that it's interesting to have a real thing, not just something. Okay, this is ready. Now I have connected the DB context of Entity Framework to my API, and I can go here and build the database. Okay. Another day, another update of the Nugget package. Yesterday was 3.1.8. Okay, and now I'm going to run the database update. Hopefully.
Yeah, this is just .NET. It just makes the presentation more complete, right? This has nothing to do with Blazor, but yeah, in any case, it's necessary.
Yeah, bear with me a minute, and we are done with that. But I want to show you how it works with. It's there, but this is a good sign that we are in a good way now. This is the database, the table that I built is here. Everything's okay. I'm going to make very quickly controller.
It's also a nice opportunity that we are showing that if you have knowledge in .NET, you can use them as is in Blazor. So
exactly. You are absolutely right. That's the idea that you are going to see how it works.
Jan is asking why, probably again not related with Blazor, but why did you choose code first instead of database first?
Because it's easier to do for presentation. I'm usually database first guy for several reasons, but for this presentation, it's easier to solve that.
Yeah, actually, you have a model and you just push it.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to create the controller very fast, right? I assume that you know, guys. It's just a restaurant controller that has the usual get one, post, put, and delete from the database, right? Nothing special about it. If you have, if we are working with Visual Studio, Visual Studio will produce that for us. And see how good things are in .NET now. Very easy to build controllers. Okay, now we have the. Let's see that this is working. Everything is correct. If I'm running the application, it's going to display the default thing we saw earlier, the counter, the fetch data, etc. I haven't, but the backend is ready now. Okay, now we are moving to the front. And I want to show you something before I go to the front. If I am running the application, this is smart enough to launch the backend, but not this is launched in the front end. It's going to launch one thing, not two things. You don't need to build something. And I don't have to go to client and run again. This is build as one thing. Okay.
Runs both, but can I interrupt you in a minute?
Yep.
Tandy is asking something. I'm not sure, Tandy, if I understood. Maybe you will understand, because it looks like he said one of the purposes for having client with host template is to allow client app to bypass browser restriction to retrieve data from backend DB. So I'm not really sure what is the browser restriction you are talking about to retrieve data from backend DB. I'm not really sure I understand. Stavros, did? It seems you did. And also use maybe you mean having a protected API and not, or I honestly don't understand, Tandy. If you can rephrase, please. Sorry for the interruption, Kostas.
No problem. That's better, because I'm feeling that I'm talking to myself all the time. I'm usually do.
You're usually talking to yourself?
When I'm coding, yes, I'm talking to myself and my cat.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me know if it's okay to continue.
I think yes. If it seems Tandy stars understood each other and the problem is solved. Please, guys, if you share any other question, go forward.
Let's at the end of the presentation have a discussion topic. I have some ideas for discussion. Maybe with a beer or something else, wine, and we can discuss very in a relaxed way around this topic. Okay, I'm going to but this application is a SPA application the same way that an Angular application is, and going to take the data from REST API. It's the same thing. Okay. For better organizational purposes, I'm going to create in the client side a restaurant folder to put things so things will be all organized. Right. I'm going to display the data. I'm going to create the face data razor. I'm going to put route in the top, right? And some HTML. I'm going to put and start. Right. We have a title, restaurants. Okay. This is the HTML part I mentioned earlier. Now, when you build an application, also you need some other, let's say, objects. Let's call it services to use. What you are doing usually, dependency injection. Blazor have you covered on that? So you can use inject directly here. The client is HTTP client, and JS runtime is the runtime you want to use in order to interact with the browser and JavaScript. Okay. This is the table I'm going to display the restaurants. I'm checking if there is no restaurant still because it's loading and display the text loading. This is the phase that nothing came from the server, and this is to have data and you can walk and display all the data, the name, the city. Let's do that later. The image here, just image. And now we want the code, right? For the code part, we need the restaurants that are going to hold the data. That's explained here. Now, the system complains because we have the namespace in the server. In order to make things easier for us, we're going to put that in a place that we can use it because we're going to need our namespace in a lot of places, right? So we're going to put in the shared, I think. Yeah, here it is. This is still Razor stuff, right? Going to
So you just add the namespace that contains the restaurant.
The model,
class,
yeah. So you don't need to repeat in each form that I want this namespace, but I'm going to need in any form, right?
Yeah. So instead of importing it in that specific Razor page, you're just doing it in the general imports, let's say.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, our component, our space, let's say, has a life cycle. So we need when it starts to get the data. So we need to override the default. Let me check that the namespace is correct. And I have a method for deleting from this page.
Yeah, it looks like the else block is missing a closing bracket. It's a bracket thing. The else, the close of the else.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Thank you. Mentioned.
Thanks, Stefan and Jan.
Yeah.
It's
Give
quite
yourself a
interesting
cookie.
experience to code live, right?
Yeah, it happens.
It would be easy actually to code every day like that because you have many people correcting you all the time. And bug-free code.
Okay. So here just we show these things. We can have direct access to the restaurant, but when the page is loading, is come from the backend using the Just client, Just HTTP call. And now, if you want to remove something, just call delete and call this method that actually goes back to the server and calls again the uninitialized method. Okay, going to run. Let's see if that works. One thing that I'm going to mention at the end is that the hot reload is still behind here. I would like to reload this time and write code. It's the way that I'm used to work. There are some solutions on that. I don't know if Status knows something else, but still it's behind this. Something that needs to improve as a modern tool, let's say. Okay, and here's the page, just an empty page. There is nothing else because I don't have any data on the database. And I'm going to fix that. I'm going to add the create page and the update page. In order to show you how to reuse things, I'm going to create a form, an edit form that we're going to use from create and from edit. Someone complains about it? Okay, so I'm going to create a form. This component is going this page. Let's say it's a component. It hasn't any way to access directly, so it hasn't any route, right? So it's just now Blazor also has some utilities, like it had many years. One is the edit form. It's rendered around a normal HTML form with some improvements. Okay, it's just the form with I have the validator, I have the name, the city is a drop down, the rating is a number, and then it's a text because C# is strongly typed. It's not the same as input in HTML, which is always text. Here you have a goal behind, and it can be integer, like rating, or a string like name, let's say, of the restaurant. And here's a code. This is a dummy form, let's say, that takes the data from the parent component, displays the data, and if the user completes the data, just send and went to the parent component that everything is okay, take the data and send back to the server. Hasn't any logic. It's just simply a display a dummy object. So has the restaurant that's going to display the seats that I'm using for put down and button, and this is the way to go back just the event on submit that I'm calling back. Any question on that? Want to dig deeper? Because that's a lot of this or details. This is not an exhausting list of how to build the form. You are going to find out yourself. And but this is how you're going to create a form. You're going to find what is the correct syntax, etc. Here is the bind value. Whatever starts with at means that has a special meaning in Razor, and with bind dot dash value is binding this object here with object there. So if something is two-way binding, something change here, change to the other side. Okay, I have the.
Sanhib is asking what is parameter here? What the decoration attribute?
Parameter means that this is something that assigned from the parent component. I'm going to see right away. So I'm going to create the create Razor component. This one is accessible from the browser, so it has routing. Also, I'm going to need these two things. One is the URL helper for navigation, and the other one is the HTTP client. Because I'm going to create something, so I'm going to need to call. Now, it's very simple to have a title, create, and just the form. Now I need the form because I have the form of creating the restaurant. I can use directly the form component. The name is just the name of the file. I don't know if Stratos knows how it has a way to bypass this one and has different name inside and different. I don't know. Now this for our friends that ask, this is the parameters. Now I am assigning the restaurant here, the button text, because now it's create. In the next component is going to be edit. And the event is going to call. Of course, this one is not implemented here. I need to implement. And I'm going to put this thing here and just create an empty component because the new one. I'm create the restaurant, posting to correct API, and just navigate back to restaurant. Let's say that and try to see what's happening. Hopefully everything is compiled. And it does, thanks to our two friends. What's the name? That helped me before. Okay. Now I'm creating a new one. Ethos. Thessaloniki. And this one, I think we can stop and calculate ourselves to create the first step of this one. Okay, I can erase it. Okay, when you want to erase. Okay. It's I can show you that it's going to that this one is just real time. Now I'm going here and erase this one. I'm going to hide that. I will show you that it's actually just a call in the very fast. Here now we can appreciate how easy it was to build all this thing and how harder is in any other stuff, right? We build everything in 10 minutes or so. I'm going to create the edit just for simplicity. And as you can imagine, it's very easily. I will create the routing. That's the interesting part here, actually. But now I have a routing, but I also have a parameter routing. Right? I can. It's the same thing with us in MVC routing. We use query strings, etc. I think that's a problem with the hashtag something with what is the with targets. If you want to build a target inside the Razor component that the user will going to land there, not just the start, but in the end, let's say this. I think there's a problem here, so we can do that. I don't know. I don't know if it still is fixed, but the last time I searched, it's not possible. Okay, you know the drill. I'm going to add the services, the HTTP service, the navigation manager to go from one place to another, and the runtime to interact with and just the title. It's more of the same as in Create Razor, right? That's a good idea in order to build some user component. I'm going to use the form component. Now the text of the button it's update here, button text, and I'm going to call on edit method that I haven't yet implemented here. I'm going to add the code here and going to add the parameter. You can see that I have this in two places, in as a parameter to from the parent component and also from there. I need to do that in order to go from the component, from the grid to directly to the component, or from the browser if someone types directly the address. If I'm sending this to George, see that restaurant, the application needs to respond to both scenarios. And the other stuff is just I was lazy and I used just the R as a name, not the stuff. I need to, when the project is running, I need to just to take that from the server. Of course, you need to add some text here and some logging, maybe. The other stuff is just the edit. Okay. And let's give it a spin already. Where was my code reload? I need that.
Sorry?
Where's the code reload? I need that today.
Yeah.
And now I have the edit. Okay. Let's build the last component for today, and then we can skip to just a simple component that displays the images that now display as a simple text. Okay, I'm going to create a new component. I'm going to say that image viewer. This is also a blind component. Let's say a dummy component that hasn't any routing. Just code here. Simple. I'm checking if I have a parameter that is a restaurant. If there is an image, if there is no an image, there is just a simple text. And if there is an image, I display the image and the alternative text for people that can see the image. Okay, and how I am using that? Simply, I'm going to fetch data component, and I'm just replacing. I'm showing you this in order to see how you can improve things in the process. We just use this one. Image view. You can see that I have already autocomplete inside the XML, and restaurant parameter equal R, and I think I need to close that one still. And everything is okay. I'm going to run this one in, and if I am refresh, I'm waiting a bit. You can see the image. Where is my alternative? Okay, more or less this is the presentation. And we can go back to this is the code. Let's say the steps. We create an application from scratch with Blazor. We create the database. We create the front. We displayed how you can use components, how you route into this one. Let's say that if you want to go directly to this one. Some errors there. Okay. Okay. See, it's edit one, not just one. Okay. You can have drop down here if you want. I don't know, George, what's your favorite restaurant in Munich? Munich has some.
In Munich, now with the lockdown, there are no favorite restaurants anymore. But Fraunhofer has a nice one. Maybe next year I will visit again. I don't know.
This was the blue stuff in the main kitchen, Frau Kitchen, the main church. There with a clock and etc. Very nice restaurant. Yeah, I love Munich. Yeah, good life, good vibe, a good city. Okay. I don't know if someone, of course, wants to ask more in the want to see the code. The code is I have it. I have the link here. I will share with George. So if you want to see
the link for the code, you mean?
Yeah. I have it there. I'm going to send you also to put in the.
Okay, you can leave that slide for a while, and I can also share it in our meetup in the group.
Yeah, okay.
Just because there are people probably outside the group, and I don't know if they can. I think it's is it this one? No.
No, just I will put that back. And
okay.
This is some references. The Blazor.net is actually a reference for that. Microsoft Live, Microsoft Talks. I find very useful the Syncfusion ebooks. The The other is the link from the Gauss Prime, if you want to dig on that. And also a GitHub with real world examples, more large examples of applications, not just simple. And now, thank you for being there. I'm going to start here and to sit here and discuss things. But first of all, what do you think? Someone brave can take and discuss this. Now, Blazor production, how it's going. I have some input for some friends that it's going to be useful in production. Blazor versus other SPA. Some questions that I think of myself. I think from with other SPA frameworks. I don't know if someone that knows JavaScript and loves JavaScript will move from React to Blazor. I've watched a very interesting presentation a year ago about the whole thing of WebAssembly. Maybe WebAssembly is not going to replace the known web development. It's going to expand this development from pages to more complex application. I think this opens the door to build. That's my idea. Maybe we are not going to build the next site on Blazor. It's going to be very strange. But for a more complex application, it's a good alternative. Think more of application, less simple pages and content pages. You want something more interactive, more complex logic, more processing. And also, I think there's a great of support from components and from the existing stack and libraries from .NET. Any library that supports the .NET standard, you can use it, reuse it here. But there is a large vendors, a large number of vendors from Syfusion, Telerik, Express, etc., that they offer a lot of options there for business application. You can build things very quickly. Also, a question I don't have there is about Bootstrap. You can have Bootstrap here, but I think there are some third-party Bootstrap Blazor things. That's it for me. You can ask me more. I will go back to the link. If you want to see the code, here it is.
I was muted. Thanks, Zoom, for letting me know. I will also publish the recording if everything goes well and there are no objections to that. Anyway, we had Stavros in the background asking all the time, answering all the time, all the questions and saying very interesting things. Yeah, it would be nice to have a presentation from him at some point, but he's shy. Yes, Stratos agrees because we are pushing him for quite some time now to do something, but no.
For some years now.
Yeah, he's hiding. In any case, he has a GitHub page which is full of very interesting Blazor controls. You can visit it. I think. Can you share it, Stavros, in the chat here, or should I? I'm trying to find it as I'm speaking. I think it's your name and surname, isn't it? Yes.
I will stop the presentation now so you can see our faces, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, there are a lot of people here. Thank you guys for being there.
So you were not talking to yourself?
And not to my cat. I needed to lock it out of the room because.
Hi.
So, thank you very much. Yes.
Hi. Nice to meet you, and I appreciate it to be with you. And I have a lot of questions about the Blazor, and I'm a fan of Steve Sanderson, architecture of Blazor in Microsoft, and I'm glad I have a question. I wrote it previously, and I want to tell about it another time. Uh, about the input text in Blazor and some event arcs argument in Blazor, and I think we don't have something like that we have in Windows application about the Windows about the event handler, event argument, like I don't know, character positioning in a text box or something like that, lengths of that or something. We can compute lengths of that, but about the position of, I don't know, a pointer in the input and something like that. We have a future in this case for Blazor. Do you know about that? Excuse me, I interrupted other people.
So, what was the actual question?
My question was about input event arcs or other event arc, like that one we manage in JavaScript, something like, I don't know, caret position in the input of, for example, type text, or for something like that. And we don't have like that right now in Blazor version 3.1. I don't know about the 5, and we have something like that for Windows application. For example, if a character is, I don't know, it's calculate this, or something like that, numeric only make something like that. We have a problem for this right now, I think. How we can solve this with only Blazor by itself, not by my own. We have a future for that.
Kostas, any idea?
Yeah, it's more of a question for WebAssembly. It's not limitation of Blazor per se. The WebAssembly that has some limitation around how it handles the events. For now, I think that you have the major event you need. Not, let's say, if you want the cursor event, etc. I don't. And you can use, of course, JavaScript in order to work around that. Of course, this is a very new thing, Blazor, I think. So it's going to improve in the future. One thing I want to say hi to Panagiotis Kanavos. Hi. He has inspired me to talk to meetups. He doesn't know that. I have seen him in past in .NET. I did on .NET.
Well, I do remember you. In fact, I started using Blazor recently for applications. 6 months ago, I used React, so I just started using Blazor like React. That's why I keep saying that Blazor is essentially React Sharp. It works a lot like React. The way state transfers from the parent component to the child component, or how the child component uses callbacks to update the state of the parent. One thing I've noticed, though, is that the component story is really not good right now. I mean, the big, the .NET commercial vendors were never big in JavaScript. And the big libraries, the nice grids like Edgy Grid, for example, don't have wrappers yet. And the problem I had this week was trying to find a good grid, because all of the either the commercial components need a lot of money, or the open source ones are a bit opinionated, shall we say. I tried the Math Blazor grid a couple of days ago, and the guy thinks that the DTOs should be enumerables as well and have the account. But he hasn't documented it, so I wasted 3 days until I decided just to throw away the grid and try to find another one. So, yep. Luckily, I finally found a halfway decent wrapper for a JavaScript grid, and I'm using that now. This is going to be a bit painful.
I think that's where all at the end it's going to be a success or not for Blazor if there are components to use, because that's today the problem. Usually developers need the grid ready. They don't need to write this functionality from scratch. So components is the biggest problem right now.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't want Tailor and Sync Fusion and all those actually second-rate components. I want the big components, and I want the interop to be transparent. I want to be able to just like I use npm add to add AJ grid, I want to do the same thing with Blazor. Otherwise, if it's harder to use than React or one of the other frameworks, it's not going to work. Now, if you try to build an SPA with React and Webpack, you'll notice it's so slow. I mean, it may take like 2, 3, 4 minutes for debugging to start. That Blazor beats all of them right there, because it doesn't need to do all that crazy packing. But okay, we'll see.
It's just the beginning, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, the big announcement is now with .NET 5, so we'll see how it goes after that.
I want to share that for Angular wasn't very good to start from components, were very bad components in 1 year or so, maybe. But now it's better. I think it's going to be the same for Blazor. And there is not only the big guys. A lot of with a simple sensor, I found a lot of components. And I think it's easy to build your own because of the thing, the simplicity of the stuff. It's not so easy to build your component, your grid components. Let's say in Angular or React, you need to write a lot of. It's just my opinion.
I think as Star Wars is saying that it's all on the community, right? If the community continues to grow bigger and bigger and start adapting Blazor and writing controls and stuff, then things will be much better. But for now, there is indeed a problem. And although there are paid solutions, if a company wants to invest in Blazor as a technology, there are paid solutions you can find with Blazor, with Telerik and Stratos. I think you said Sync Fusion. There are solutions, but they are costly solutions. It's not that easy. Yeah. Anyway, any question, guys? Let me scroll the chat a bit. I think there are no more questions, right? Should we give it a minute, or should we say good evening and good night? I don't know where in the world you are. Yeah. Well,
I want to thank you all guys for staying that hour to see our presentation. I hope worth your time.
Yeah, I think it was very nice and very interesting, a very easy get started guide. And I think since it is, I hope it's going to be published in YouTube, and I'm saying I hope because I will going to wait, as I said, 24 hours just to give you some slack and give me some feedback if you disagree. It's going to be a nice guide for all of you, for all of the people, anyone that wants to start with Blazor. So yeah. Yeah, I think this is good night and good evening. Stratos, anything to add?
Oh, thank you all for joining. There are too many things to say about Blazor. We could do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just an introduction, but I think I'm really optimistic about that. I can say I'm a Blazor enthusiast. So yeah, I think it's something worth your time, even if you don't use it in any production code yet, just for experimenting, and it will pay off. So we'll have to do another joint meetup soon, George. It's going really well, I think.
Yeah, it was a nice idea, and we can do the next level in Blazor. Maybe play with components, or I don't know. Maybe Stavros can do it finally at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is then good night. Thank you all for watching this meetup. Kostas was really helpful. Thank you very much, and see you in our next meetup. I think it's in a month or something. Yeah.
Stay safe, guys. Stay safe. Have a nice time.
Bye bye.
Ciao. Bye.
Yeah.